Hi there, my name is FixFox, and welcome back to this lazy Deathworld run. We're still at the point in this game where we are getting the infrastructure that occurs in between planets. You get a new planet, you get a new bit of technology, and you need to integrate that. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting time. I'm not going to build everything most correctly. Later on, we're going to have a massive, sprawling train type of mega base. But in the meantime, I just need something that'll work. And the whole goal with including these foundries is that I can include productivity modules and I can make my close resource patches last a little bit longer. Yeah, that's just one less thing I'm going to have to worry about in the future. So it's going to be a little bit of copy and paste. It's going to be a lot of use with the bots. And yeah, pretty quickly, all of a sudden we got these copper plates ready, up and running. We're still going to do the steel processing later in this video as well, but for now I'm just going to have a couple of bigger fish to fry, including we're going to want to get ourselves into some amount of quality for both the copper and for the iron plates. We're going to want to make sure that we get a thriving nuclear setup. We do have the atomic bomb researched, and on a Deathworld run that seemed pretty good to me. This is the first vestiges of our Covrex processing. Finally, it's up and running, and at some point we're even going to completely adjust where our double-headed trains that have been bringing the sulfuric acid to and from our nuclear patch, where those materials go, and we're going to move everything out. But first, folks, I haven't shown you this, but we are fairly low on power at the moment. We're oscillating somewhere between 60 to 90% of total capability in our factory, and that's not good, right? Like you got these buildings that are working at half speed or like 3/4 speed. And what fun is that in a factory building game? No, we need more power. And so if we're going to need more power, we are going to need to make sure that we improve the robustness of our capabilities for our nuclear program. So let's do that right now. We're going to get ourselves some big miners. That's going to help make sure that we are mining faster, number one, but also we're saving some resources where we can. Okay. And then this is where I'm going to just get rid of this whole section. I say, look, I've got this train coming in. I'm going to keep the train that's going to bring in the sulfuric acid, but I'm going to eventually move my production and these rocks and the processing of the nuclear material here towards my nuclear plant. I'm just going to do everything a little bit closer. I'm tired of bots running materials from one side of the base to the other. So we're going to make an adjustment there. Also, we're making sure that we do have a little bit, not a lot if you notice, but a little bit of quality modules in all of our major production here, just so that way I can potentially build in the future with a higher quality than I currently have. Right now it's going to go into a box. You know what? Yeah, purple boxes are just about the best thing. The banishing boxes. Anything that you put into these boxes are going to just be disappeared, and you're not going to have to worry about it. A favorite for anyone who's ever been to the green planet of Gleba. Anyway, we are turning back on our nuclear science capabilities. All of these are wired to make sure that we have the right number of materials when the time comes. I don't even have these set up in like logistics chests when the steam turbines or when the nuclear silos or the heat pipes or any of that is ready. I don't immediately want to build. I want to make sure that I'm overseeing that production a little bit more directly, but everything is built so that when I throw down this copy and pasted build here, that I'm going to have the right number at the right time. Anyway, this is a regret of mine as I'm placing down this nuclear secondary site. I didn't want to cover up my iron ore patch, and so then I built this off like not in a straight line with the original build. And I can already tell you, like, if that bothers you, trust me, you're not the only one. It does bother me too. I just said to myself, look, eventually what I'll do is I will get rid of all of the iron ore in that little area, and then later we'll come back and then we'll just move everything. So don't get too attached to anything. I guess that's my favorite part about Factorio. I don't get too attached to anything, because if I do, I'll be real sad. We're going to add just a little bit of this direct mining insertion for these little bits of landfill. I got a couple of stone patches around here. Yeah, let's just make sure that we have plenty of landfill for future builds when the time comes. And piece by piece, slowly we shall indeed get this whole situation all situated. Golly, thank goodness for the update that came with, I think it was it 1.0? I think it was in 1.0 Factorio. Bots were able to throw down landfill on top of blueprintable land if it was on water. That was awesome. Anyway, okay, back to other important things. We were focusing on this, folks. This is the steel production, and it's been fine, right? But if you notice, it's even only got like tier 1 productivity modules. Yeah, it's just not going to fly for me. I need something a little bit nicer, and we are going to end up moving it to this area. So I've moved a little bit of my solar panels. I've created just enough space I can squeeze in some additional foundry tech here. We've gotten some additional foundries, specifically from the planet of Volcanus. I just got them to automatically make deliveries and come on in when the time is right. And now we're just adjusting these recipes. So it's not plates that we're going to spit out, but instead it's going to be the steel. And it'll be enough. I'm not going to say this is like a ton, but it's going to be enough. That's for sure. The question is truly going to be whether or not it's going to be an adequate amount of steel just for what we currently have going on, because man, things get expensive quickly, especially with spaceships and so on and so forth. By the way, we're back to our spaghetti tricks, right? We have the old spaghetti kind of in place, and we're just not going to make any adjustments until I feel so inclined to make changes. And yes, as you can see here, our steel production is going to be much higher than our original production was. So we're actually at least on pace with what we had before. Better, worse, at least we're on pace, and that feels okay to me. By the way, it's time to officially throw down these nuclear silos myself. I like to do that personally. I don't know, it seems like it's just the right thing to do. It's a very, very important building, and if it breaks or if something explodes, then nobody's happy. So I better just handle this one myself and not leave it to one of the interns, aka one of the robots. I loved, there was a, what was it? It was Arendel's Space Exploration, Space Age. No, Space Exploration was his mod. And there was just baked into all the mods, robot attrition. And it was actually the worst thing, and I hated every second of it. But it also made me a better engineer, because I was able to say to myself, look, don't assume that the bots are going to handle everything. You've got to make a little bit of good value where you can, while you can. Anyway, so fun little side tip that made me happy. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that I am wiring this up so that the train is only going to get sent with a certain amount of sulfur at the appropriate time, and that's going to fill up this sulfur tank that you see here at this mining patch. When the sulfur runs empty, then the train's going to go and fill it up a certain amount and then go back and forth, and that way I don't absolutely get crushed by my sulfuric acid production and derail my plastic or anything else. That is going to be something that it seems reasonable for me to do with the circuit network, and thank goodness that radars can transmit that information. I just really do appreciate that very, very much. So right now you can see the train has the sleepy sign. Nothing's happening, but things will be happening in the near future. Folks, thanks for the time, thanks for the energy. I'll see you in the next one. Take very good care. Bye now.